Hi everyone, this is Ziona from ABA Advice, and I thought I'd make you a quick video to try and give you some information about the JobKeeper payment and the cool features that Xero has brought out to help us all with it. So in this video, I'll show you how Xero can help you check your eligibility, help you enroll in the JobKeeper payment scheme, and importantly is to get the payroll right for it, as this is can be quite in depth and in an important side effect of it. Okay, so we'll have a look at our Xero demo company, and if you go into payroll, if you have employees, go to pay employees. Okay, once in here, you can see this little icon down here for payroll support during COVID-19. If you click on this hyperlink here, it will take you to the tools that Xero has so far implemented. Now, as this is changing every day, the rules and regulations for it, Xero are constantly updating this. Okay, so here we go. The first step, so it gives you a step-by-step process, which is great. So the first step is to check your eligibility. Now, if you click on this turnover calculator, it is a very basic tool, and it's going to only help you with the basic 30% turnover turn down, but it's a great start. So applying the turnover calculator. So here you can choose which month you want to compare it to. So March is what we're doing at the moment, and April. Even though April hasn't finished, we have to use projected figures then, so you might have to give us a call if you want to try and use your April figures, as we are finding a lot of the March figures people aren't eligible for yet, but we can use the April figures and get you enrolled straight away. So if you have been using Xero for a long time in your business, choosing the month, these figures will automatically populate for you. If they're not currently in there, you can type it in. So with the JobKeeper payment, what they're looking at is, so for example, March 2020 versus March 2019 has your turnover dropped 30% for most of businesses, 50% if you're over 1 billion turnover. So we'll put in here, say we had 15,000 of income in 2019, and 2020 we have 10,300. As you can see here, your turnover has dropped 31%. So that's pretty basic. You can go ahead and enroll then. So you've got your link here, which is the ATO Learn How to Enroll. It takes you again directly to the ATO website. Down here, you've got your thresholds. So for any business under 1 billion or less, 30%. You can see that here, 50%. And for charities, 15%. And here you've got another link to the ATO, which goes into more depth about the eligibility. Now, don't stress if your turnover hasn't changed by 30% or more. Still give us a call, because they have just yesterday come out with alternative testing, which encompasses things like new companies that weren't trading this time last year, growing companies where the same period the prior year isn't really a good indicative of their trading. There might have been some extenuating circumstances, things like that. Just get in contact with us and we can have a look at that for you. Okay, but let's say, great, it's really easy. We've turned down 30% or more. Well, not great, but we're eligible. So we established we're eligible. Then just go back to your tab up here that was already there, and it takes you on to your next step. So your next step, you just click in here, ATO enrollment, and that will take you to the ATO website where you can enroll or contact us and we can do it for you through the portal. Now, this is where it's important. Once you've got your eligibility and you've enrolled, you need to make sure you're set up for single touch payroll. Again, if you have Xero and you have employees, you can do that in here. Let's just go to a new tab. Okay, so normally if you're not set up for single touch payroll, you go into your pay run, pay employees, and there'll be a thing up here that tells you set up single touch payroll. This will involve you calling the ATO, but it is important that we get this done for future reporting with this JobKeeper payment. If you need any help, again, give us a call and we can walk you through that. And it would tell you right here if you're not set up with single touch payroll. But the demo company, as you can see, is set up with single touch payroll. So once we've done that, we need to enroll our employees. So we'll click on the link. Okay, this is where it starts to get a bit more technical. So we need to figure out which employees are eligible and which aren't. So there are a few criteria around that, things like that. You can click on these links. They will take you to the ATO's website. That will go over the eligibility criteria for different employees. Or again, you can talk to us. The next important thing is making sure we've paid our staff correctly before the JobKeeper payments kick in. They have to be paid prior, and then the government pays you back in arrears. So they have to be paid the $750 per week or $1,500 per fortnight for the whole month before you get the payment starting, which you can click this link here, which will give you more information. Also, each employee will need to fill out an employee nomination notice, which you can click here and have them fill that out and give back to you, just saying they're willing to participate in the JobKeeper program. And we've got a nice warning here saying basically make sure you get the start date right of the JobKeeper payment, because once it's submitted with the ATO, we can't change that. So if you're uncertain about your start date, again, talk to us. It's when the business becomes eligible, or the employee may be shy if it's a casual of 1 month and then next month they're eligible for the payment. If they're a casual for 11 months, they have to be a casual for 12 months, things like that. So Xero down here identifies the potentially eligible employees that you have, and it shows you their status, start date, resident, things like that. If any of that stuff is wrong, you need to go into you can click on here and go to employee and fix that up. It is important to get this right, because start dates and things like that, or their type of employment or their visa restrictions, they're all important things on if the employee is eligible or not. So if you need to change any of that, click in there. Once you've determined that they are eligible, you can click Start JobKeeper. Then this clicks up, and this is where you're going to nominate when they became eligible for. So at the moment, we've just got the 2 fortnights because that's all that's available at the moment. So if the business and the employee is eligible from the beginning, we would click this. Again, there's another hyperlink for more information if you need it. And then it's just telling you make sure that's correct, because once we click save for reporting, that's going to send that to the ATO. That's what single touch payroll does, and that will be enrolling your employee in the JobKeeper program with the ATO. So it's the reporting, and then there you go. That your first employee is going. Now stop JobKeeper payment if your employee leaves you or something like that happens, then obviously you can do that here too. So once you've enrolled all your eligible employees, go back up the top here. We'll go back to our step-by-step procedure. So we've enrolled all our employees. please. And then now we need to make sure our payroll is set up correctly in our pay item. So you can click on this. So this link takes us to Xero Central support. So it just runs over in detail the payroll side of things and the 1500 and the topping up or and the different pay items, things like that. So I'll do a quick run over with you in Xero and of the different type of employees you might have. So there's basically your three types of employees that you're going to have. You're going to have your employees that are paid above 1500 per fortnight, every fortnight anyways, and are still working. That's cool. You don't have to do anything for them. You just have to keep running their payrolls regularly and file in single touch payroll. Your second employee is probably the most difficult one, or most technical one. They still are earning a wage and they're working either part-time or casually, but they're not making the 1500 per fortnight. So with this, with the JobKeeper payment, it's required that they are paid the minimum 1500 per fortnight. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a top-up pay run, because the extra money to make up the 1500 per fortnight doesn't attract things like super and stuff like that. So it's got to be run as a separate pay item, which I'll do a step through. The third employee that you might have is someone that maybe is stood down, is not working for this period or this week. So they're getting zero wage from the business, normal wage, but they're eligible for the JobKeeper payment. So you need to pay them the 1500, and we just put that straight through as JobKeeper payment, no super attached to that. All right, let's do our first pay run. Okay, we've got our three different types of employees. So let's start with James. So James only worked 20 hours in this fortnight, and he hasn't made the required $1,500 per fortnight that we're required to pay him with the JobKeeper payment. So this is for the end of 14th of April, which is the first JobKeeper pay cycle that's eligible. So what we're going to do is we need to top up his wage. So we add an earnings line here, and Xero has already created the JobKeeper earning line for you. So click our drop down box, and here we go, JobKeeper payment top up. So click this, and then here you can add the fixed amount, so it's $1,500, which is $1,096. So we put that amount in here, and then as you can see, if you scroll down here, it's calculated the tax for the full $1,500, which is correct because this payment is taxable. But super is only liable on the ordinary hours. So you're only paying super on the ordinary hours that he worked, not on the full amount, which you can see there. So that looks all good. We'll move over to our next one. So we have Oliver Gray here. He's already making gross over $1,500 per fortnight. So we don't have to do anything for him. You just process his payroll as normal, but you will still receive the $1,500 fortnight JobKeeper payment back to the business. So we save him, go to next. So here we have Sally Martin. Now with the downturn from the coronavirus, she's not required to work anymore, but we've been able to keep her on now with the JobKeeper payment. So she's just getting the JobKeeper payment. So we zero out her hours, so she hasn't worked any. We add in the JobKeeper payment top up. Add that in. Now, if this is going to be ongoing, Sally's not coming back for the foreseeable future, you can update this in her pay template. So here we put in the $1,500 amount. There we go. So she's getting paid $1,500. It calculates the tax on that, and you've got Xero super. Then you hit save. And there you have processed your 3 different types of employees that you should, that you can possibly get with the JobKeeper payment. Again, it's different for closely held employees. You're allowed to have one director or beneficiary or sole trader where you don't need to lodge pay runs like this, but they are set up differently when enrolling. Okay, so they're done and we post our pay run. Yes, we want to post this. Now this is the important part, especially for you guys who have never used single touch payroll before. You need to file this. So this is what lodges it with the ATO, and this is where they can see that the JobKeeper pay requirements are being met. So you continue to receive the JobKeeper payment. So we click file and that will send it straight to the ATO. Then this will come up with your authorized person to lodge this with the ATO. Then as you can see here, the status is pending. That's because it's a demo company. When it was filed, it would have a green thing here saying filed, and then that you know you're complete and you've completed your obligations for your employee pay runs for the JobKeeper payment. So that's all you have to do. Now, since it's the end of April and you guys have probably already done your pay runs or half your pay runs for the month of April, and if you're going to be eligible for the month of April, you're going to need to fix up your payroll. So if there's been any employees that haven't been paid that are eligible, or have been paid but haven't been paid the full $1,500 per fortnight, you'll need to go in and do an unscheduled pay run. I'll just show you. So add pay run. Then select the period. So you want to put it in the correct period. So unscheduled pay run, payroll calendar, fortnightly, weekly, whatever you're doing. And then the pay period. So we want it for the first week of April, 14th of April, because that was our first pay cycle in April. And then say we had Oliver and he wasn't paid enough in that previous fortnight. So we click on him to include him. We go into his pay template. So we don't want any ordinary hours because he's already hours for that period. So we just zero that out. And we just need to top him up to the 1,500. So you use your JobKeeper payment top up, add that in. And he only made $500 this fortnight, so he needs an extra $1,000. This way too, you satisfy with the ATO and they can see that you've paid him the correct amount, but it also he's not having any lease payments this time. It also calculates the correct pay withholding for that week, including his other pay run. And then you just go ahead and save, close, and post that like you normally would. So once you have everyone updated for the current month, then it's just normal moving forward. Just make sure you're paying everyone $1,500 per fortnight and you're lodging it through single touch payroll in Xero. Then from there on out, you have to complete your monthly declaration with the ATO, which again, you just click in here and it will take you to their every month you've got to report your income to the ATO to stay eligible for the JobKeeper payments and for the next 6 months. So I've hoped that, down here we've got more things that they're working on. When they come available, we'll update you. So that's just a quick overview. There is a lot more in-depth stuff about it. Especially when it comes to the alternative testing, feel free if you've got any questions to get in contact with us, or if you're not sure if you're eligible and you want us to look at one of the alternative tests, or if you'd like us to do the process for you, please contact us at the office at ABA Advice. Thank you.